Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Let's Try series. And I think this is not going to be a big surprise to anyone to see Discovery Freelancer showcased on this list. But maybe you are. Maybe you are, because I'm currently adjusting my headset, sorry about that, because you know my history with this game, both of its ups and downs, and my recent hiatus that has lasted since 2017. Now, the funny thing is, Discovery Freelancer right now, as I'm recording this video, and if you're an old player, you might be interesting to hear this, but Discovery Freelancer has lived through what is looking like a rather large renaissance. So, for example, I'm currently recording this at around 4 p.m. EST, aka 10 p.m. my time, and if we go into the multiplayer setting, you'll notice that we are currently hovering around at around like 100 players and above 100 players during peak hours, which is, well, needless to say, about twice the pop that we usually had. As of me, currently recording this video, I have joined the server a little bit past the prime time hours, which is probably good for a video like this, but yeah. Anyway, for those of you who have never seen this game before, welcome to Discovery Freelancer. It is a content mod for the now abandonedware Freelancer from 2003, and this is going to be a very strange game for those of you who never, watched me play this thing. It is a real-time online game roleplay environment. I used this sort of description before in my videos, and the best way I can describe online roleplay in games like this is imagine any single-player narrative storyline experience from the recent years that involves dialogue trees. You have your Mass Effects, you have your Fallouts, you have your Witcher 3s, you have your whatever. And imagine how you kind of choose a line from a list of prepared answers, questions, responses that your character makes, and then the NPC kind of, reacts depending on that, and your game progresses in kind of, depending on how you choose to roleplay out the situation. Real-time roleplay is kind of the same thing, but instead of using pre-made dialogue trees, you write your character's text yourself. So needless to say, this kind of game would be more fun for players who are either looking to flex their literary muscles, or in fact people who want to learn English, because it helped me a lot actually. Although you're not going to probably notice that, considering I'm very too complacent to have a mistake underlier or, spell check editor thing. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Right, so, in the previous Let's Plays for Discovery Freelancer, I know that I've usually kind of mixed this game together with a kind of tutorial sort of thing. That is not going to be the case this time. I want to see what would actually happen if I apply the regular 40-minute, unedited kind of approach to Discovery Freelancer. How would it actually, work? And we are going to start off today by taking a look what kind of characters I currently have on the server. And yeah, so here's the fun part. I haven't played or touched Discovery Freelancer since 2017. It's been 3 years. I have, on purpose, not kept track of what is going on Disco Freelancer, so that once I returned to the game itself for one reason or another, in this case, the Let's Play series, I would have the opportunity to enjoy the game as new as possible. And it is not really a thing you can do in normal circumstances. So, yeah. Let's see what we can get. Regarding the roleplay server, you need to create a ship, aka a character that you will be roleplaying with, and we'll see the kind of, nitty-gritty specifics of how that is done in just a moment. But first we kind of need to create the character and the name. There are two ways you can do this. You can either name the character after a first and last name, or you can name the ship itself and then kind of, reference their character's name in dialogue. So, for example, I'm currently thinking something like... We're probably going to be looking at the Culture series again. Yes, I think I'm going to go today with a character named The Lucid Nonsense. Just imagine seeing that roughly etched in the side of the ship, already kind of, the paint kind of dented, the paint kind of chipped off. Yeah, that sounds like a very good thing. A lot of changes, as far as I understand, have graced Discover Freelancer in terms of game mechanics. The only thing that I've spoiled for myself right now, I did go and read up on the server rules a little bit, because that is something you really need to try to do if you're going to try and, play this game. The problem with online roleplay is that there are many things you can enforce with game mechanics. Player overall, player actions is kind of not one of them. So roleplay server like this kind of just needs a rule set that players need to memorize and kind of do. Okay, let's see. The year is 827 AS, 27 years after the events of Freelancer. So we actually did play Freelancer through in one of my Let's Plays. So hey, it's been 27 years since the Nomad War and Trents episode. A lot of things have happened since then. A lot of things that we will, learn about. And I think the way that you kind of have abilities... Okay, let me show you what I mean. So these are the restarts. So for example, there's a lot of in-game factions in the game, right? There's a lot of factions, and this command would allow you to make a character on any one of these factions. It would restart your ship into their ship, their reputation, and their setup. Now, I'm thinking I'm just going to go with the default setting because I want to be kind of like a space yokel, a dude who has just decided to kind of start leaving the Pennsylvania system. So we will figure out the kind of nitty-gritty of that roleplay soon. It's been 7 minutes. I think it's time to, just run into Freelancer and see what this is all about. For those of you who have never seen this ship before, this is a starting freighter. I think it was called the Sunburst. And we are going to take a look exactly what's going on. And it looks like the first things I see is the Valley Forge Flight School. Okay, what is this? It's, Academy. And I have a... that was interesting. First thing I see is on dock is a hostile player, but no, it's just that this character does not have good standings with the reputation of that character's current associated faction. So that was Zoner Guard, and I don't have good relationships with that particular faction just yet. It doesn't mean that the player is hostile to me, it just means that the faction that they associate with doesn't really like me, so it's kind of... They're hostile because I'm bad with that faction, not because they're hostile to me specifically. So, hey, this wouldn't be a Freelancer Let's Play if we didn't hit the mining ships. Let's go. We start off with a perfectly functional ship, by the way. This is not like vanilla Freelancer multiplayer. Looks like the only things that we lack right now is a torpedo or a disruptor. And a mine, which we probably don't really want, because right now what we want is more money. So let's quickly take a look around. Look what we have. 87 people online. We are currently in the Pennsylvania system, and we have quite a few people in Pennsylvania. I just don't know what they are, or what we can do with them. Right now, I kind of want to get our feet wet in terms of our first... Moonies. The way you can make money in Disco is... Well, there's a lot of ways. I'm going to show you one of the quickest and fastest ones, for example. So right now we have these floating rocks. If you shoot them, especially if you shoot them specifically with the mining lasers here, these things, you will notice that the items is like the helium. This is a helium field, so helium is going to be placed straight inside into our cargo space like this. See, 249, oosh, 285, 310. That sounds like a rogue or hacker name. Someone just PM'd him. So I'm thinking that this player just messaged me out of character. Usually you would mark that with like double slashes like this. But since he didn't specify that, I'm going to respond in roleplay. So imagine you're just running around, your in-game radio comms flare up, and you just say, "That sounds like a rogue or hacker name." Like, yes, well, yours sounds... Yes, well, yours sounds like something a child would tug on a rope. I'm kind of tempted to... There we go. That was enough. Let's see where we can take this. So right now, the best place where we can take this would be Fort Augsburg in Munich. That is Space Germany. That's Rhineland. That is really far for us. Let's take it to Planet Manhattan instead. It will give me an excuse to go to Manhattan, and at the same time we are going to talk a little bit along the way. Now the cool thing about this is that this allows you to kind of roleplay in any, you know, place, you know, as any kind of character. So right now, for example, a character, you know, quote, character messaged us, and we responded in a very kind of passive-aggressive, kind of edgy sort of way. So this character of mine is not really going to be an apple-cheek little, you know, happy boy here. We're going to be a bit of a mouthy little bastard. And I think that that actually might be a good backstory for the character itself. Yeah, sure, why not? So we're going to be essentially what is... the space equivalent of Jon Snow. Okay, they messaged back. Touché. Well, it's just the ship's name, something not to scare away the rookies around. Lad, I am pretty sure if this scares them away, they have no reason to be in space in the first place. So yeah, we're not going to be a good person. Hey look, Battleship Delaware. Why are you here? Battleship Delaware was constructed by... Sorry. No. We don't want to do that. Oh. I forgot that if I do that, it changes the item. Sorry about that. Let's go back. Battleship Delaware was constructed during Liberty's conflict with Gallia, intended to take the place of Battleship Gettysburg. However, manufacturing setbacks prevented the completion of the warship, as well as the increased aggression with the Gallic Royal Navy forced the Liberty Navy to deploy the Gettysburg on the front lines of the conflict. Having finished construction very shortly after the conflict, Delaware and their supporting fleet took the place of the Gettysburg, with Greenhorn crew who hoped to fill the shoes of the now destroyed battle group. So, the TLDR, what the Gallics are, the Gallia was the next house. They were the secret house, they waged war on the Syrian sectors, and they ended up, quote, you know, defeated. So this guy is still messaging me. Yeah, you might be right about that. We've all been rookies at some point, though, and I know it can be hard for many. Well, they're nice and cozy in the hands of Zone well, liberty, technically. So, what I'm referencing here right now is the fact that this used to be a zoner, quote, zoner-controlled system. Zoners are kind of the hippies, like the neutral people of Freelancer. They kind of want to be away from the politics, away from the riffraff, and that kind of nets them more trouble than it's actually worth. And the idea is that that system became something of a protectorate, and I'm currently referencing that in what I just said. Well, they are nice and cozy in the hands of zoners, well, liberty, technically, so, you know, I'm kind of making a jab at that. Yeah, you're you're being really protective, or someone who got really protective. So yeah, welcome to New York. We are currently in the heart of Liberty. And we currently have someone on our list. It's a freelancer. It's a low-level freelancer over here. You can see it's at level 26. And that is another Sunburst, actually. And in front of us, there's another freelancer. And this time, it is a... oh, it's a Saber. Oh, that's an actual bounty hunter. Like, that player... that character... is sent up to hunt enemy ships, like enemies of the Lawful Liberty factions. So that's kind of neat. So, let's see what that person just said. Bah, Liberty Corps lackeys took away our establishment in Penzi. But the main population of area is still zoners. As I wrote, glad to know at least one place in that backwater is still sane. We also have Bethlehem, which is a good place to know about more about us zoners. Yeah, thanks for the tutorial, mate. So hey, welcome to Planet Manhattan. Population, you, and a bunch of bad people doing a bunch of bad things. So, we have arrived, and we just made 1 million credits. So, the thing is, credits really come and go in Discovery Freelancer. You can buy a lot of things, you can sell a lot of things, but credits is something that you should never be, you know, too afraid of having too much of or too little of. There are things over here. We have the Pilot's Guidebook. Welcome to Discovery Freelancer Roleplay Server. This commodity is a simple help manual if you know, there we go. Like this. I just noticed that it is actually a little bit outdated. So, History of Sirius, if you really want to see the whole history of Sirius. And, of course, you also have the November 2016 revision of the server rules, which haven't changed a lot, to be fair. You don't really need to worry about that. So, hey, let's go exploring. So, as far as I can see, this current discussion has petered out a little bit. So let's see what we can do. Who else we currently have in New York? Quite a few. You know, considering we are in New York, we do have quite a few bases known to us. But let's go explore just a little bit. Okay, that player just... wow, disconnected. They probably switched to a new new character or something. And we're still at 90 people, so there's always going to be interactions you can find. But let's talk about... oh, there we go. Oh, it looks like there's a party. High nonsense. A lot of large ships. Good day, Captain. You have a Liberty Assault battle cruiser. And you have a Liberty battle cruiser. Oh, we have both that and that today. That's kind of neat. Department of Contraband Investigation. Please hold for a scan for cargo hold. Nothing here but the remains of some freshly mined helium, really. Now sitting comfortably on one of the ports on good old Manhattan. But that's someone else's problem now. Please proceed, pilot. I think we shall indeed. Let's see what else we can find here. Looks like these guys are, doing a bit of a impromptu blockade here. Looking out for smugglers. That's something that we could totally, do ourselves as well. There's a Gera. Engineering salvage equipment. Yo, what was that? That was a very interesting... That was some interesting cargo. Let's see if we can find what it was. Because that looked like something non-standard. So, I didn't get a chance to read it. I saw some sort of... Oh. I was a little bit too late. They were carrying something I'd like to look into. So this character is going to have a, you know, bit of a flair to it. There's a supply to Alaska and Alberta going on. Beg your pardon, what now? Big storm coming. Beg your pardon, what now? Oh, look at this, there he is. Oh, there's... With the imminent arrival of the main body of Alaska's dark matter storm, Gera Technology has begun to close down the salvage operations on Ludic Station. The equipment is used to complete... No, sir, I've not. Sounds like profit, though. Oh wow, that's a lot of traffic there. I got a million burning in my electronic pocket. If these folks here are hauling something, I might want to join in on that. Oh, okay. I saw something interesting just now. But profitable for the disaster, yes. For the traders, of course, not for a Jarrett Corp. So that's kind of interesting, actually. So apparently there's a dark matter storm approaching one of the systems, and like, there's some sort of thing going on. We are needed in Ontario, Brannigan. Are we? Emergency. Sounds expensive. I like the sound of that. Let's not bump the player away. I kind of want to remain on their good side. Hey, I'm always looking to profit off of someone else's funds, so you won't mind if I kind of, you know, tag along? So I'm being a complete mercenary slash cutthroat type. So here's the thing about online roleplay. There's always a chance you're going to find someone who is really good at it and someone who is completely clueless as what's going on. You know, we also have new players, we have old players. You can come, yeah, space is free for all. My kind of space. Hey, hello, what are you hauling? Nothing. Ooh. Almost bumped myself there. So let's follow these guys, let's see what's going on. We are 27 minutes in. It's time to join the party. So I think this is kind of... I mean, if it helps, imagine that every single time I'm talking to these guys, it's kind of opening up a trade dialogue... Sorry, a dialogue tree sort of thing, you know, a pop-up. Shadow, please stay still. Hello. What is this? A Garo white boxes. Oh, he has 2 IDs. So here's the thing. You got a Freelancer ID. Okay, let me explain what's going on. So every single player, including myself, has its character ID. It's a item inside the pocket that allows us players to, on a glance, figure out what exactly are we looking at in terms of out-of-roleplay. So, for example, I'm a freelancer, I am not affiliated with any faction in particular, and I have rules of engagement. I cannot just attack any player, except for in self-defense, for example, right? And these guys over here, they have Liberty Police IDs. These guys can attack unlawful players who are hostile to Liberty, for example. So, right now, it looks like this guy has 2 IDs. Shooting sounds kinda, you know, finalistic. Is that even a word? Smuggler? Oh. There he goes. Oh no, my finger slipped, apologies. So the problem is, like, the game has no inbuilt spell checking, so when you're doing something really quick, like you're in battle, or, you know, something like that, people tend to make mistakes, so, you know, don't worry about it. Again, if English is not your first language, or if you're going to try to, you know, learn how to do a lot of things quickly, this is a misunderstanding, sir, please proceed, sorry for interruption. We didn't notice that you were work for a jar. So let's see where this guy is going. Getting shot for being a snuggler sounds like bad for your health. So let's keep on trucking. Let's see where these guys are going. You know, I'm kind of grateful that didn't end up in fireworks, but, never seen a space execution myself, you know? Haha, me too. Report was gonna be a nightmare. Well, it could have been worse. With a ship like that, yeah, I can imagine the paperwork is just as sizable. I'm gonna let these guys go first. That is a beautiful ship design, though. Now let's go to Ontario. So here's the thing. I cannot attack players. I need to be employed by someone who has that right if I want to assist them, for example. Oh dear. You are entering a contested territory. Any PP deaths suffered by non-generic IDs in Ontario have a reduced cooldown time to 30 minutes instead of the usual, etc, etc. Well, these guys are not really... They said there was an emergency, so I'm just gonna follow them around a little bit. So, either they were too late or something else. They're communicating in their party comms probably right now. I'm just surprised they're not currently yelling at me for following them around, though. Let's try to keep on their good side. Let's try to keep that as a thing. Guess that the emergency sorted itself, yeah? The funny thing is, I'm actually faster. Like, this ship goes 400, that thing goes like 320, I think. I think maybe I should stop following these guys around before I kind of make them too nervous. I missed the frickin' lane. And so did he. Or not. Well, let's hope that the server lag and latency does not end up with me being squished by a big shippy. That would be quite an interesting thing to see on my first episode. Okay, that's a 4-alarm. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what happened here. See a lot of trade disruptions, but looks like it's nothing important. Maybe NPCs shot the lane out. Not my problem. Instead, let's go grab more helium. Possible cheating detected. Yeah, if you desync from the server a little bit too much, the server is going to pop your connection just in case. It just tends to happen. This sissy Everest Zero fight. That's a sunburst. That's another sunburst. And that over here... Dark matter shielding. That's some interesting cargo you got there. I want to know more about it. Let me ask you, T... So it sends the message to the targeted player. Let's see if we can get too close. With production originally... Yeah. I kind of need to remain in the scanning distance of this dude. That was a Navy. Something's going on in this system. Like, there's a lot of Navy patrols going around. Something is going on. There's an event on just now. Take it to Freeport 14 in Alberta, something like 4K profit on a unit. Oh. I forgot I wasn't, Yeah, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's tag along, let's see where it goes. So hey, if you want to learn how to make money and where to make money, just ask around. It's like going into a bar. In your... Okay, so something you might have noticed, that basically this is a, quote, single-player game where everyone kind of, like, role-plays each other's NPCs. This is not true, by the way. I just don't want to be in a, group. So it's a polite way of declining it. No worries, just makes following easier. Your ship is large. Your ship is large. I doubt that I can lose sight of it, don't worry. So that's kind of interesting, like, this guy is... Oh, okay, let's actually look at it. With production originally piloted by DSC aboard Ames Research Station, dark matter shielding is intended to provide protection and structural reinforcement to crewed stations. The zoners on Ames continue to iterate upon this design and believe to be currently blend of dense alloys could be sufficient for Freeport 16. Okay, so they are reinforcing some sort of station right now that is going to get, like, whose system is going to get hit by some sort of, space anomaly. Greetings. Good day. So that's the Liberty Police player. He's also currently, shooting at the lane. So yeah, this was another checkpoint. Wow, the Liberty players currently have this place on lockdown. So whatever this event currently is, it involves the moving of large shipments, large, valuable shipments. We had a full-on profit of like 1.8 thousand credits per unit from selling the helium that we mined. This guy is telling us that the profit for this run that he's currently using is about 4,000. That's more than double that profit. So I'm very curious to see what it is. Okay, so he's actually heading back to Ontario. That is where we were just now. We approached Ontario through the jump hole in Colorado. That's where those two Navy guys, sorry, not Navy, that's where those two battlecruisers, the police battlecruisers went. We entered that system. So he said something about Alberta. Issue is pirates. Issue is pirates. Aren't they always? I'm not sending it right now because players don't see across systems. So I kind of need to wait until this guy's on my radar again. I mean, looks like this guy has it covered. I should have enough money to buy a full cargo hold of this, whatever it is. Looking forward to it. At the same time, we're currently nearing our 44-minute mark, so let's give it like 15 more minutes. And let's see what happens. Short little cruise here. Roger that. Well, let's just follow this. That's an NPC. And that there, over there, is a Jira property hardware. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, let's keep on Everest. So I'm kind of concerned about the name of that good. It means I might not be able to actually get it. Let me stroke your ego a little bit. Maybe it's popular right now with the biggies. The biggies, I like that term. Huh. Floyd Lawson. This guy's taking you. Since you're escorting me, I'll throw you some credits for the cover. Like, if you're a completely new player, if you're flying a small ship, players have... You saw how easy it is to make money here. They won't mind, you know, finding a roleplay excuse to give you some... Oh, wow. Someone said something about a storm. Didn't think it was this bad. Wow, what happened to Alberta? Oh yeah, it's... Ooh, wow. Okay, I kind of hope that my ship can hold up with this. You have Dark Matter Storm on the way to the Freeport. We're running supplies to keep it protected. Jeez, but who's gonna protect us? I'm registering damage on my hull already. How long is the trip? Let's keep following him. About 40k left. Ouch. Better get the nanobots ready then. So yeah, looks like we are in a very heavily irradiated field right now. I think what we're going to do is... We're going to finish this first episode of this Let's Play once we deliver that first cargo. That first amount of cargo. So that in front of us is some sort of planet. He's flying towards it, but I can tell by his ship's nose that it... Yeah, there we go. So there's the Freeport. That wall of pain is quite close to it. Think some shielding will help it not get swept away? Cheers, mate. Every little bit helps. Anything I'm loading up here? More people running the same thing. Oh, wow. That's, That's a very hurt gunboat. So let's quickly... Buzz Lightyear 69 is probably some dark matter storm data. Yeah. He died before I could write that out. Okay, so we are looking for dark matter research data. Oh no, dark matter storm data. 1,500? Yeah. So that is in fact like... Okay. You have entered the event, the coming storm, Freeport shielding. Okay, I actually forgot to repair myself. There's another player here, Will-O-Wisp. It's a 72, and looks like a... Yeah, that's another type of cargo ship. I didn't even check, actually. Zeragun Warhammer. Okay, now I'm quite curious. Super heavy fighter. That just looks like the very old... Okay, I won't ask it. Let's repair the ship real quick. Let's actually ditch these mining turrets. I would instead have a... So it's a 750 meters per second weapon, like most of our other guns. So... Let's go with the... Okay, light turret. There we go. Yeah, so 2 debilitator turrets is always good. So... Everest. Yeah, it was Everest. He departed, and now he came back. I think we're not going to wait him simply because I'm running on a tight budget. I want to kind of get back and complete this one run before, you know, signing off this episode. So let's not wait for him. He's a big boy. He doesn't really need our help for this. What is this, though? Gate wreck. This jump gate has sustained damage and is no longer functional. Oh, you know what that is? That is the jump gate to the Ontario system, and that's Red Deer Station. Exploration of the Alberta system provided to be a dangerous business due to the constant threat of Liberty rogues. Red Deer Station was built to defend Ontario against the rogues and provide a safe haven for the local police operations. Late in 1817 AS, though, Red Deer experienced a surprise attack and suffered a hull breach that proved fatal to its entire crew. There are currently no plans to repair or replace the station. Liberty patrols are now based from the Fort Severn in Ontario. Wow, this whole system got freaking wrecked. And it's about to get even more wrecked with this dark matter storm. Warning, navigational hazard. This dark matter storm is a huge cloud of dark matter and charged particles which is about to enter the Alberta system at high velocity. Conditions within the cloud are violent and potentially lethal. Yeah, I've noticed that, mate. I've noticed that. I'm currently taking damage as much as I can see. So, hey, that's basically it. Discovery Freelancer is kind of a game of chance when it comes to Let's Play material. Usually I would never run a unedited, like, 1 hour, Let's Play sessions. Mostly because it's really hard to tell, or at least it used to until now. It was kind of hard to find constant player interaction. But the player count ever since the coronavirus and people just staying at home, it's not just Discovery Freelancer, it's all Freelancer servers. People are just coming back to these older games as they have much more time now to spend at home. And online roleplay like this, where you type your own stuff, it's kind of niche. That's the thing, but it makes for a very interesting experience if you give it a chance. Holy hell, that was a big frickin' rock! Okay, we are going to be just a little bit smarter than that dude. That dude just flew all the way through, like, New York and California and Colorado. That's not something we are gonna do. Who are these guys? They're neutral on my radar. With this cargo that I'm currently carrying, I'm probably not going to be interested in roughhousing. So we're going to, as I already said, we are going to be slightly more smarter about this. We're going to go straight to Colorado. That guy said that it's a 5-system trip. That guy did not end up, looking at this jump hole as he was falling around the Liberty Navy dudes. So instead of that, we're just going to go there. I'm just going to repair myself just in case. But yeah, Freelancer is kind of a very interesting, the roleplay, the whole roleplay aspect of this game is really fun, mostly because of the setting itself. Freelancer is a very interesting universe. If you have never played Freelancer, just watch a Let's Play. You will get the gist very quickly. And of course, every single station has, text walls you can read if you're, into that sort of thing. I've never been worried about text, so, I can stomach it. You might not be, depending on what you want. If you are interested in trying this out, if you want to try this game, if you would want to try this server, the game is abandonware, which means it's completely free. There is a download link on the Discovery Freelancer forums. I think I still have Discovery Freelancer linked on as one of my sites, actually. I'm pretty sure of that, actually. Now, anyway, I will link to the download thread in the bottom of this video if you're interested in this sort of thing. But as for now, let's continue. Let's make this one shipment. So, these guys are taking the lane. These guys are going all the way around. That's not smart. Or maybe, is there a reason for that? I'm not exactly sure, but this is the Colorado jump hole, and I'm just gonna go for it. That's an LNS Highlander on my radar. Was an LNS Highlander on my radar. We're currently going to go to the Kepler system. It's 2 jumps away. 1 jump away once we, enter this place. But, yeah. So the thing is, right now, with this small a ship, it might not actually be too profitable for me to, run around myself and haul this stuff. So I'm kind of wondering, if we meet a pirate, and that pirate tends to, have these people drop their cargo, could we steal some? Would they even care if a sunburst tried to steal the cargo? That is a very good question. And sadly, since I just passed 1 hour of recording, it's probably going to be something that I will not be able to, test in this episode. And probably by the time I have done the voting, quote, voting for this series, for the next Let's Play series, this event might have been over. But I promise we will go check what's going on with that Freeport station, because I'm pretty sure whether or not the Freeport is going to survive or not is going to depend on if the players end up kind of, bringing enough material to shield that station. Because that is the sort of, events that a roleplay server tends to do, just to mix up a little, just to mix things up a little bit. But, yeah. So we are actually here, like, we are one jump away. 94 people online, but yeah, we seem to be hitting like above 100 players, which, depending on what kind of sort you're player or like what kind of games you're used to, you might think, oh, 100 players is not a lot. Well, it kind of is for a roleplay server. Imagine 100 active players in the same Discord chat. 100 is really not a lot in terms of games where you can have like a few hundred players just sitting in the queue for a Battle Royale server, right? But at the same time, in a context like a online roleplay server like this, 100 players is plenty much. Like, you are not going to be, craving for constant boredom tonic. You saw how many people we met here. And how many more people are currently in New York. Okay, let's visit these zoners. So these are player bases. You can make your own bases, and you have to supply them. And it looks like someone did not supply theirs. Okay, here we are. And just like that, we're gonna sell our stuff here. 3 million credits. Boosh. Nice. And so here we actually buy the dark matter shielding, or we could buy some counterfeit software, run some bad things. Let's see, we have 6 million credits, what else can we do? There's some ships over here. I do want to get a slightly bigger ship though. But obviously, that's not going to be something for this episode. Alright, ladies and gents, this was Freelancer. This is one of the, possible candidates for our next Let's Play series. If you like this sort of gameplay, and this sort of commentary and interaction, like more direct interaction with multiplayer games, then vote for this thing. Anyway, this was Spazzy Dragon, aka Syndromes. Fly safe.